Hello, my name is Rabbi Reuven Mann. I am the Dean and founder of Masoret, Institute of Advanced Judaic Studies for Women, and I live here in Arnona, Jerusalem. I'd like to share an idea with you. In this week's Parsha, we read about the sin of the golden calf. Subsequently, God rescinded his decree to destroy the Jews and sent Moshe down the mountain with the 2 tablets of stone, which contained the Aseret HaDibrot, the so-called 10 Commandments, really should be the 10 statements. And I want to ask a very simple, basic question. Why did there have to be 2 sets of tablets? Why wasn't 1 tablet enough? Couldn't God have inscribed the 10 statements on 1 tablet? Was it a practical thing? Was it too difficult to do it that way? I mean, basically, if you can get everything down on 1 sheet of paper, you don't go to the second. I think there's a profound teaching over here, and that is that the 10 statements are broken down into 2 categories. The first 5 deal with laws that are between man and God. That concerns just me in terms of my obligation to believe in God, to observe the Sabbath, and so on and so forth. Many of the laws of the Torah that deal with the religious perfection of the individual does not involve others. And the second 5 are laws between man and man. These have to do with our social responsibilities, our interactions with others. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not commit adultery. But also it's positive things as well. You have to treat people correctly. You have to be sensitive to people. You have to be compassionate. So those are the 2 areas. The question would be, which one would you say is more important of the 2 to focus on? There are people that are naturally attracted to one. So many people are attracted to the area of compassion, of helping other people. For them, that's the whole essence of religion, is how you treat others. And the other area, it doesn't loom as being that important. What difference does it make what you eat, what you don't eat, and so on and so forth? Then you have very religious people that are drawn after and attracted to the area of personal religiosity. Do the mitzvahs, the commandments, and do it perfectly, and recite the blessings. And the other area, in terms of treating others, does not have the same appeal to them. The question would be, which is the correct approach? I think the Torah over here is telling us that neither of the 2 is the correct approach. The correct approach is the 2 tablets of stone. That is, in order to obtain religious perfection, one has to be involved in both areas. These are the words of God in terms of yourself. It's very important how you train yourself to act, to behave, to elevate yourself. That's selfishness. That's the proper selfishness. A person has to be selfish in that way. And then there's the area of treating others. In order to obtain the religious perfection, you have to be completely involved in both. And I think it's a very important lesson for today, because today many people have the idea that it has to resonate with me. I like this because it resonates with me. That may not be the entire picture. Something is not important because it resonates with me. The Torah is the Word of God. That's eternal truth. It may not resonate with me. I may not like it. That's what the Torah says. If you should come upon the animal of your enemy and it's fallen beneath its load and you don't want to help him because you hate the guy, you can't stand him, and it doesn't, to the contrary, it gives you a certain pleasure to see that he's suffering. Then the Torah says, no, put aside your emotions and you must stop and you must help him. And indeed, the greater the involvement, the greater the resistance that one has to a mitzvah, and he does it, that is really what elevates the person, more so than the mitzvahs that come easily. A lot of people like to be involved in hospitality because they're very socially oriented. They enjoy it, which is fine. But the mitzvahs, the things that don't appeal to them, that they really want to run away from, and they don't, because they recognize this is the will of God, and by doing this, I'm elevating myself, because I'm not acting in accordance with my basic emotions. I'm acting in accordance with intelligence, with righteousness. That is the mitzvah that gives you the greatest amount of perfection. So therefore, I think the teaching is that to be a perfect Jew, a good Jew, one can't just follow his natural inclinations. One has to be dedicated to fulfilling both sets of tablets.